Welcome back to another episode of Pass and Move Pod. I'm your host, Dominic, of course, joined by my co-host, Aaron. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Let's get straight into it. Another week of football to discuss, and there's nowhere else to start than the biggest game of the weekend in the Premier League. Uh, Man City versus Chelsea, 1-1 draw. Um, at the Etihad, chat to me, bro. From a City's perspective, how do you see this game? Because that's now, well, I think that's only one win against the top six this season. Haaland missed a bunch of chances in this game. Talk to you, man. What do you think of City's performance?
Bro, it's crazy. I can't lie. I can't. I don't even want to look at my tweets, bro. Like it's crazy. I don't know, man. It's the same. It feels like the same thing every game, bro. But I don't know. So far, we're going in the right direction when it comes to like points tally. But things like this is just I don't know. Like people were looking at the table and saying, "Oh, like City have like two games in hand, like they're going first." And I was thinking, yeah, like we are going first, and then we just come and play like this. Like I don't know, man. To me, it's just it feels I don't know. I don't want to say like cowardly, but like it just feels like we haven't played well in any of like the bigger games this season, apart from against you guys. That's literally the only game we've played
And
well, in
and
my
that
opinion.
that's a very poor United team as well.
Yeah, that's what
So
I'm saying. Like in that game, we had basically our full strength side. Bernardo Silva played like a masterclass. Like that was a real like I think Stones, Guardiola, Diaz, and Akanji all played that game. Like it was
mm,
literally like our best 11 basically, except for obviously De Bruyne. And it's like I don't know, like if that's our only good performance out of all the big games we played, even when we played Aston Villa, we didn't play well. Like I don't know, man. It just feels like to me we haven't been that good. Like, and it feels like it's the setup, which is something I complain about quite a bit. It's just like we go into games and it's like we don't try to win. Like for example, we played Brentford a few days later, but we played Brentford like 2 weeks ago. And Foden scored a hat trick in midfield. He hasn't played midfield since. Like
since that game,
since
yeah.
since that game, he hasn't played midfield. Like he's just been stuck on the wing, and it just feels like, as I said, it feels like kind of like we don't go into games with the mentality of let's be brave, let's go win. Like, fair enough. Like the game against who was it? Aston Villa. That was an away game with injuries, whatever. Cool. I didn't like the way it was coached, but whatever. Cool. Um, but we played at home against Liverpool. Liverpool, you can argue are a tough side, but I think we played them off the park that game, and we just played like we were outplaying them. Like we had the potential to take the game, and we just didn't. And it feels like against Chelsea, when I was watching that game, I was thinking, bro, they should be up like 3-0 already. Like
Yeah, they had
there was
loads of
so
chances.
so many chances. Like the setup doesn't make sense to me. You have Alvarez, who's a striker, who's always played striker, playing next to Rodri in the midfield, as if he's like Ilkay Gundogan or something. Like it's crazy to me. Like I don't know. It just kept on exploiting that sort of left hand side with like I think Doku, Alvarez, and Ake was kind of like the left hand side in that game. And it's like when we pressed really high and they just play through it because those players are not really, in terms of like technical ability, they're not the most technical. And in terms of like just general like decision making, they're not the best when it comes to decision making either. And it just felt like Palmer would just get the ball and play down the line. I think Gusto messed up a pass to Jackson and he scuffed it one time. And then there's another time they went through and I think it was offside. It's just the same things. It's literally just the same things every single time. Like I don't know. It really rattled me, not gonna lie. But it was like I think it's kind of this is kind of like a sign, I guess. It's like we're not gonna change because we've played like this and we're not getting like the results we want. Oh, I guess we are getting the results we want because we're second, but it's like we're not playing well, if that makes sense. Like we're not playing how we're intending to play. And it seems like we're not changing anything really in the game. So it feels like we're gonna stick with this sort of setup that we've got going on right now. And I don't know, like literally the game was we managed to salvage a point at home, which is crazy against Chelsea. Like who their best player is literally someone who was on the bench for us. Like he couldn't even play minutes for us. Like Cole Palmer was like it doesn't make sense. Like that's their best player, and we're playing at the Etihad, and we can't like comfortably get a win against them is crazy. Like the only way we literally salvaged points was through a Rodri deflected goal, which is just like kind of been the like the common theme this season. It's just been like we set up, we play bad in games, and then individual brilliance will win or something. For example, Foden in a few games, you've had Alvarez in a few games where he's been playing, like in this game, he played quite bad, in my opinion. Like he didn't, but it's not something I would put against him because he's just not a midfielder, he's a striker. And
Mm.
it's like he's been doing that for a lot of the season, but it's like he's struggling in midfield, but then he'll get the ball in the situation and he'll just score. Like he'll be helping us get the points and get the wins. But it's like you can see clearly, like this is not what's intended. Like he's really struggling there and
Yeah.
persistent with it. So I don't know. It's soon going to be March, and we're going to have this period from I think the end of January till now. It's been sort of like our easy period. But it's soon going to be March. We're going to play, I think, Liverpool and Arsenal in that month. And it's just it's I don't know. We're gonna see what we're really made of, because if we can't get wins in the big games, and it comes to the big games in the running, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna see what's really going on. We're gonna see who's really on what. Because honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought this was the game where it could be sort of like our statement, I guess, like the start of like a winning run or something. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
It's an interesting one though, because you say obviously you weren't really you weren't really happy with the performance, but I mean you look at it and Erling Haaland had like 3 or 4 chances on
Mm,
Sunday or Saturday, sorry, to score. Like
mm.
I think what 3 or 4, no, three of them
You
were
had
headers
three
that like
headers, yeah.
really he should have put on target at the very least. And I don't know, a lot of people have been saying that this season he's not been as good as he was last season.
Mm,
And like, of course, he's still the top scorer in the Premier League. Like, he's still
yeah.
the best striker in the league. But because of the standard that he set last season, that anything that's a slight drop off is going to be looked at as like what's
Mm.
happened type thing. But I don't know. Is that kind of worrying for you? Because of course, in a game like this, that's something that makes a difference. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
It's literally the difference between 1 point and 3 points in a game like
yeah,
this, and he could have come away with 2 or 3 goals to on Saturday easily.
yeah. Um, I never worry about Haaland because I like Haaland's one of my favorite players. Like I love Haaland, so I never really
Mm,
worry about him and his production. Like even that is like this is like his worst season. Like when you look at statistically all of his seasons in his career, this is like the only one where he's underperforming his XG. All the other ones are like
mm,
overperforming by like 2 goals or something. Like he's always like on it. And I don't know. I saw the chances he had that he missed, obviously, but to me, I kind of give him a pass because of the setup. Like we don't play to his strengths at all. For example, all three of like the biggest chances, he should probably do better with them. But his like biggest weakness is his heading. That's like in his
yeah,
whole game. That's his biggest weakness. Like it's way worse than like his first touch or whatever. Is that he can't head the ball properly. Like I think when he was at Molde, Ole was like training him on like heading. Was like,
yeah,
bro, like you can't head the ball. Like you need to learn how to head the ball because he just can't do it. He's just I don't know, always been sort of relying on like his pace and stuff and his finishing. And I don't know. I feel like having the best striker in the world and like you're playing directly to his biggest weakness, which is like high balls into the box, like whipping in high balls. Like to me, it just doesn't feel like it feels like it's like counterintuitive. Like
mm,
before, you used to see Man City play with a lot of cutbacks, for example, like we'll go to wide areas, some make the underlap and just cut it back, and then Haaland will be there to like put it home or something. But I don't know.
mm.
It feels like now like you don't see that anymore. Like the whole game, I don't think we really saw like any of that. It was just mainly just crossing the ball in and hoping that he can get his head on it. And I don't know. That's why I'm not really worried about him because I know, as seen in like the following game against Brentford, or against Everton when he went against Brentford, like you give him the ball in transition, or you give him the ball where he can take it with his feet and he will score like most of the
Yeah, he's
time.
unstoppable.
It's just a case of actually giving him the ball in the right situations. And I don't deny that he's been really like in a bad slump this season because he has. But I feel like in these sorts of like bad slumps and bad moments which happen in players' careers, you have to sort of give them like a bit of I don't know. you have to give them sort of like support to help them, like a push in the right direction. And I feel like he's not getting that in the moment. So it's just been a thing of um just he's gonna just shoot his way out of it, and that's what's gonna happen. And from Pep's comments where he's saying stuff like, I don't have advice to give to Haaland because like he scores like all these goals, like you can't give him advice, like he will score. It seems like he's
Yeah.
just gonna have to like keep pushing through it and eventually it will come back to him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
Mm.
that's what it is right now, to be fair.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But let's talk about Chelsea
Mm,
on the other hand, because I feel like it was a good performance from them. I have to give Poch credit on one hand, but then I feel
mm.
like he undid
Yeah.
all of his hard work with his substitutions. But I think initially the way that they set up was really good in terms of nullifying what you guys like to do. With obviously your two tens in the game, it was Alvarez and KDB. I liked how Gusto was really good on Doku. I thought he was really
Yeah.
aggressive on him, and then that gap between him and Disasi would open up. Alvarez would try and get in there, and Caicedo was always there to kind of stop it. And KDB obviously he's your best player. He likes to roam around the pitch. He has a license to do that. But even when he would come over to the left hand side, it's like create that overload. Enzo would follow over and stop it from being like a overloaded situation on that side. So I thought that Poch set up Chelsea very well in terms of defending what you guys tried to do. But then he made the switch to five at the back in the second half. I think in the 70th minute, he took off Palmer for
Yeah.
Chalobah. I think that was Chalobah's first game this season.
Yeah. In a while. Yeah. He got injured, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Start of the
yeah.
season.
Yeah, and then I thought from then you guys really just started um
Mm,
targeting like the back post, and that's kind of where the goal came from. Walker's shot from the back post and it dropped to Rodri. But I thought
mm,
Chelsea's setup was good for the majority of the game and did it did do them enough to win the game. They had loads of chances on the counter. Um and yeah, I think Sterling should have scored two. Jackson had a
mm.
good chance as well. But yeah, what do you think of Chelsea and Poch's setup in that game?
I thought they done well in like for like the first like for majority of the game, to be fair, until the subs obviously. But I don't know. Like I thought they done well. Like they done the best they could do. My thing was just like we should have been able to like completely outdo that. Do you know what I mean? But in terms
Yeah.
of their actual setup, I thought they done well. I thought Caicedo should have been off actually. I thought he should have had a
Oh
red
yeah,
because
no,
he had like
he
a
did go a
few
bit crazy in
yellow
the second half.
opportunities. Yeah, he had a few
Mm.
opportunities where it should be like, I'm pretty sure he did get a yellow, if I remember correctly, and then he
Yeah,
should have been given a second one, but he didn't. Um, but yeah, no, he generally did play well. Disasi as well. I think he done quite
yeah,
well. And one of the saddest things, one of the one of the saddest things that hurts my chest is that Enzo Fernandez, right, who's like notoriously one of like the worst like defensive players. So like he's quite like he's not really like just he's not a defensive player. Like his awareness or his dueling is not good. He was winning. He was beating us in duels. Like he was winning duels against us like comfortably, and he's celebrating and stuff. I'm just like, bro, like we're at home. Like what is this? Like I don't know, man. But shout out to him, man. Like fair enough, man. Like if he's winning duels, a guy who doesn't really win duels, then fairs. And I think at that point, then they deserve something from the game, honestly. Because,
mm,
but I thought they really did in terms of like in possession, especially in the first half. I thought they did really well to sort of bait us in. Like they were playing out from the back a few times, and we were
yeah,
pressing. We put like four men on the edge of their box, pressing really high, and they'll just play it into Palmer, who would just play like a nice little ball. Or I think there was one time where Chilwell had it, and like our backline was so high. I think Sterling was in behind basically, and I think he just messed up the pass. But they played really well, like to play through our press. Like they played really, really well in possession, especially in the first half. And I don't know, man. On another day, maybe Gusto's pass is a bit better, or Jackson's takes the ball first time and shoots, or it's Sterling instead of Jackson there and he scores. Like who knows? And on another day, they could have been like 2-0 up within like the first 30 minutes, and then it becomes a really serious situation. So I don't
yeah,
know, man.
yeah. No, it's a weird one for Chelsea because they they tend to well under Poch anyway. They've had performances like these in big games this season. Like I think back to Liverpool at the beginning of the season. I
Mm,
think it was a 1-1 at Stamford Bridge,
mm,
where they against the big teams they can put together like a decent coherent performance, but it's the other games where it kind of all falls apart. obviously they do have a big game coming up this weekend. Carabao Cup final against Liverpool. What do you think of their chances going into that game? Because I mean, if they play the way they did against you guys, surely I mean they could get something. They could be something on the card, especially with the injuries Liverpool have.
I don't know, because Salah's back. That kind of changes things for me. But
Mm,
but I don't know. I do know Alisson's out. I've
yeah.
seen that Alisson's out until April, so he's missing our game as well. So I don't know. It depends if the injuries catch up to him. I need to see if Darwin's playing or not. I'm not sure if he's going to be
Mm,
fit or not, because that's quite a big thing when it comes to like Liverpool's attackers. Like he's the only one with that real sort of proper pace in behind, and Salah
yeah.
who's sort of become less of a I don't want to say less direct, but it feels like Salah's become like more of like a ball to feet sort of playmaker in a sense. Um, he really thrives off having someone like Darwin who will make those runs in behind, and I feel like he doesn't get that same sort of thing with like Gakpo, Jota, and Diaz, for example. So I don't know. It depends if Darwin's fit, and I don't know, because we did see them play like what 2 weeks ago or something, and you saw how
Yeah,
Liverpool,
Liverpool
yeah.
washed them,
So it
and Nunes
depends.
caused them loads of problems there. So yeah, if he's back, could be a
Yeah,
repeat.
it definitely depends on injuries and stuff and who's actually fit for the game. But I don't know. If you asked me right now, like who's winning, I'd go something like 3-1, 3-1 Liverpool, not gonna lie. I'd go
Mm,
strong 3-1 Liverpool.
no, that's fair. I don't know. I feel like Chelsea could do something. I don't know. Carabao Cup, that's their heritage, man. Heritage trophy. Jose did it for them back in the day. I don't know. I feel like on a one-off game, like with the
Mm.
injuries Liverpool have, Kelleher mistake or something like that, like a 1-0 cheeky nick it. But
Mm.
no, I can
Uh,
see it. I can see it. But yeah. Did you want to talk about your City's midweek game quickly? Or
yeah, City Brentford was kind of, I guess, kind of the same thing, to be honest. I'm not even sure I can't even remember the score. I don't know. Like whenever we have midweek games, I start to get the score. I just remember Haaland scored one.
the wins are just so light, you don't even know. Sorry, man.
Hey,
I
this
wish
guy,
my club
yeah,
could be like that.
yeah, Haaland scored one. Rodri put on another masterclass. I remember that. Also, big shout out to Akanji. And Bob got his first Premier League start. I remember that. Bob was really good in
Yeah.
this game, actually. He got subbed, which made me sad because it didn't really make sense for him to get subbed. Like Bernardo Silva was playing way worse. Alvarez was playing way worse. Fairs, isn't it? But yeah, Bob gave us something different, something we've kind of been missing this season. Um, in terms of just like his technical ability and like being able to play those little passes like in between two players into like the half spaces for someone to like run into the box and stuff. Like he's really good at that. But yeah, it was a solid performance, to be fair. Really, really solid performance. Foden, some nice tricks on display, but he really should have bagged, man. Really should have bagged. But
Mm.
yeah, it was overall good performance. It's just I don't know. It's kind of sad that whenever we play this Brentford team, their goalkeeper turns into Neuer. Like it's crazy. He dropped like his best performance against us 2 weeks ago, and then did it
Yeah,
again
yeah,
now.
yeah. I saw
Like
that.
it's I don't know. It's crazy, but
Mm.
fair enough. Fair enough to Brentford. I mean, they played well, I guess. They also played against Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Liverpool beat them 4-1 on the
yeah.
weekend.
You catching that game?
Little bits here and there. Obviously,
Yeah.
saw the goal. The one that kind of was making waves. Darwin Nunez's opener, I believe. I believe
Great
it was the opener.
finish. Great
The chip,
finish.
yeah, outrageous finish. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, Michael Owen tweeted after the game or during the game talking about how essentially he shouldn't have done that finish in that
Mm,
position. It's a risky finish. It only works according to him once or twice out of 10. Whereas if you're around the goalkeeper, you slot it, it's more of a 4 or 5 out of 10. And
yeah.
people were cooking him on Twitter because Nunes scores, so it shouldn't really matter.
Mm.
And on one hand, I hear it, but what do you think of the
Right.
whole
It's
topic situation?
it's crazy. Bro, guys are trying to tell Michael Owen about finishing. Michael Owen,
Ballon
nah,
d'Or
man.
winning.
Bro, we're losing recipes, man. How could we be telling Michael Owen about finishing? Like, come on, man. Nah. honestly, I don't know, man. Like, I definitely agree with him. Like, it's a beautiful finish, which is literally what he said. Like, it's a great finish, but it's such a risky finish that and he said it. This is basically is kind of like he kind of attributed it to like this is why Nunes isn't really doing as well as he should be, and he was kind of
Mm.
saying like a I don't know like a different striker or maybe a better striker or whatever, or just I don't know like a normal striker I guess. Like he was basically trying to say like you shouldn't be doing it. Like you should just be slotting it away, because that finish is so unbelievably hard. And he's right. Like that like it
Yeah.
is a wonderful finish, but it's like that's so risky. Like I didn't even think it was going in. Like I thought it was going to hit the bar or something, and then it just fell in. And I think Nunes like responded on Twitter, just like posting the video of the goal or something. I was like, bro, this guy's not learning, man. He's not going to learn. But fair enough, in it he scored, I guess. But I definitely agree with Owen. Like I feel like it is like an unreasonably hard finish. Like there was no need for it, but fairs, isn't it? Like this is what we watch football for, isn't it? So
Yeah, I
fairs.
think I think on one hand, do you know what I mean? If it goes in, you can't tell him
Mm,
anything. Do you know what I mean? It's a guy at the end of the day, he did what he was supposed to do. But I
yeah,
think as well, you can like it shows clearly that he's confident because he's one on one the whole length of the whole half of the pitch almost to himself. Like he can do any type of finish in that moment, and that's the one that just came to him naturally, and he scored it. So you
yeah,
know what I mean? Fair enough. But I do definitely hear what Michael Owen is saying. Like, I mean, he's right. That is a more risky finish, and
mm,
it's probably a safer bet if you round the goalkeeper if you just slot it past him. But as I said, if it goes in, it goes in. It shows that he's confident. So I mean
mm.
that can only be a good thing for Liverpool fans. But yeah, did you catch the rest of the game? What did you make of it? Salah came
Uh,
on, got a goal as he does.
I think he got an assist as well. Can't lie.
Yeah, goal and assist. Yeah, the
Yeah,
defending for that was terrible though. I saw
that
that.
it hurt me, man. It really hurt me because we play against them. They play their best defensive performance ever, and then they play against us. Every set piece, they literally leave one man back on every set piece, and that's literally how Nunes scored his goal. I think it was Jota versus like one guy, and he just heads it to Darwin. I think, and Darwin's 1-on-1. Like it's I don't know, but fair play to Liverpool. I didn't catch the I think I didn't catch the second half, but I just seen some of the goals, and yeah, fair play in it. They're top of the league, trophy opportunity. And yeah, I don't know, they're building momentum right now, and I think they played against Luton as well, but I didn't catch that game either.
Yeah, yeah. 4-1 win against Luton. They went 1-0 down. It was looking a little bit hairy, but they came
Yeah,
back and they done it. And that's kind of been the story of Liverpool, to be honest, this season. They just score and they keep scoring. But
yeah.
I mean, one thing that could potentially halt them is obviously their injuries. I think
Mm.
it's so you said Salah's coming back for the Carabao Cup
Yeah,
final.
yeah.
But Jota's out. Nunes came off in that
Just
game
as out for
injured.
2 weeks. I
Yeah,
mean, not
Jota's
2 weeks,
out
sorry, 2 months. 2 months.
2 months. Okay.
Yeah, 2 months, 2 months.
Nunes came off like injured against Brentford. Alisson's out until April.
Yeah.
Curtis Jones is out. Trent's out as well still,
Ooh, yeah. I forgot Curtis Jones. Oof.
and Szoboszlai as well is out. So the options are a little light. I think against Luton it was Diaz, Gakpo, and Elliott as a front three,
Front three, yeah.
and then
Elliot
and
got
then
his 100th
Endo,
appearance.
yeah, and then it was Endo, Gravenberch, and McAllister midfield three.
Yeah,
And it looks like that might be what they're gonna have to rock for the
yeah.
next few weeks. Obviously, Salah's coming back, so you can imagine he goes in on the right. But do you think? I mean, they've been scoring and scoring this season. They've been winning games and winning games like it's
Mm.
nothing. But do you think that this right now, with all the injuries, is gonna can slow them down?
No, like I think they have enough. I think it just depends on depth and like their fixture, their like fixture congestion and stuff like that. Honestly, because
Hmm.
I'm looking at their bench is practically just you. But in terms of Salah coming back, oh wait, did Salah play? Oh no, he didn't play the Luton game. Okay, first. Yeah, but when you look at, for example, Endo, I thought after his first performance against Newcastle, I'm pretty sure I thought he was terrible. I thought this guy was cooked.
Hmm.
And ever
Yeah, it
since
wasn't a
then,
good game.
he's been really good. I'm pretty sure he's in all the games that he started. I think they're unbeaten and they have like a plus 32 goal difference or something. Like it's crazy. So
Wow.
I don't know. I feel like I've got I've got confidence in them to be able to sustain it because obviously McAllister's been playing better recently. Obviously Harvey Elliott had a good performance, but Salah's coming back in as well. And then their backline is like I think Bradley, Van Dijk, Gomez, and Kwanzaa. So I've got faith in them to sustain it. I think it's just one more injury could tip the boat. For example, if Van Dijk goes down, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. If Van Dijk goes down, I think it might be over. But yeah, right now, as it stands, with players hopefully for them coming back into the team in the next few weeks, I think they should have enough to keep it going.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think, yeah, they've like even the players that they're having to rely on now have been picking up minutes throughout the season. Like they've been rotating them out. It's not like these guys are coming in cold or anything. Like obviously there are young players on the bench who haven't played, but the guys they were talking about, like your Elliots and your Gravenberches and obviously McAllister's been a mainstay in the team. Endo's been better and better since his first game. Those guys have been playing football matches and they've been part of the winning team. So I don't think that the fall off will be too bad. But I think, yeah, as you said, one more injury could tip the boat, and yeah, then it would be interesting to see. But moving on to Spurs, played against Wolves and lost 2-1 at home. This was a it was an interesting game. I don't know. I was I was a bit surprised by how end to end it was, to be honest. Like you normally associate Spurs with, well, under Ange anyway, like they control the games, nice football, do you know what I mean? And they keep you in your half and they create chances that way. But Wolves were just constantly able to hit them on the counter attack in the channels when the fullbacks would invert. And I just don't think anyone on Spurs really played too well, to be honest. Other than really Van de Ven, I'd say made a couple good like recoveries and obviously with his pace. But I think Wolves did really well to kind of just exploit that, run at them in the space. Pedro Neto was incredible for the assist for I think their second goal. Was
Yeah.
like he literally picks it up from his own half and just runs the whole length of the pitch, pulls it back. Like that's a winger. Um, and yeah, Wolves did well as well defensively. Like very organized. Like they were proper solid at the back, aggressive in the duels, winning the challenges, and they were just ready to spring off on the counter attack as soon as they got the ball back. And yeah, I don't know. I think for Spurs it was they were a bit lost in terms of creating things going forward. I don't think I don't think Richarlison played particularly well this game. I think Son was back on the left, and I just don't think he's best on the left, to be honest, at this stage in his career. And yeah, no, it was a weird one for Spurs. I feel like with them, their weakness in terms of this top four kind of race, I guess, could be their attack in the long run. If obviously Richarlison has hit form recently, but if Richarlison's hitting form and then you've got to play Son on the left, I don't think that really gets the most out of him.
Yeah.
Kulusevski's performances, I think, have kind of been a bit up and down this season. He's not really hit the heights that he did when he first came to the league, and it was kind of like, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I don't know. I think the attack, I don't know, if Richarlison doesn't keep up this hot streak that he's been on recently, I think they could really let him down. Going into the run in the season. What do you make of Spurs right now?
Um, I don't know. I kind of had the same thoughts as you. I didn't watch the game, but from what I've been like hearing and seeing, did Madison play?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he,
I heard he
he
wasn't
was not
too.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've heard he wasn't too great as well, and I know he came off the bench against us. I can't remember if he came off the bench or started in the cup game, but he didn't really play that well in that game either. Like I didn't really notice him. Like I don't know. That's something big that they're gonna have to seriously think about now because you've got Madison, um, who's coming back from injury, who might not like fully get back to how he was like soon, and you kind of need them to be picking up points at this stage. And then you've
Mm.
got Son, who's as you said, like playing on the left. It's not for him anymore. Like I don't know. I thought that for a while actually that he's not really a good winger anymore. Like his general play just isn't like there anymore on the wing. Like
Yeah.
it's way better when he plays down the middle. But at the same time, Richarlison's been playing well recent weeks, and he's a striker. So it's like, what do you do at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. Like I feel like um more than anything, it's going to be their attack. Like if they can't win games, if they can't win games with Son on the left, Madison in the 10, Kulusevski on the right, or Brennan on the right, and then Richarlison up top, like I don't know. It's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be hard because now you've got guys like the red side of Manchester that are starting to make things click, and it's like I don't know, like if their attack's clicking, I don't know, man. That top four race, boy, that top four race. United, I don't know how United always do this, man. Every season, you just think these guys have not played one good match. And you look at the table, and they're just about in the top four race. They're there, and it's just like, wow.
Bro,
But yeah,
we're a massive club, bro. Even in our banner era, we were finishing second, bro.
bro, it's
it's the aura of the
crazy.
badge.
It's crazy, bro. They'll call your manager a PE teacher, and he was coming second, bro. This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't believe it, man. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I guess we can go into the United game then.
Mm.
Against Luton, 2-1 win, hot start for us. Two goals from Højlund right at the beginning of the game. That's 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League games, and he's the
Two
youngest
assists.
player ever to do that in the Premier League. And yeah, man, he's hitting form. And one thing I'll say, yeah, is us Man United fans are not often united on the point of view when it
Mm.
comes to players, when it comes to
It's true.
anything going on in the club. But for the most part, I can say the majority of United fans I was seeing, even throughout Højlund's bad spell in the Premier League when he wasn't scoring, were saying this guy will come good. Like we can see it. We can see with our eyes what he's got to bring to us. And obviously, he was scoring in the Champions League. For us, it was kind of like a matter of time until one drops from in the Prem. And of course,
Mm.
we weren't really creating chances for him at the beginning of the season either. Like he was really having to fend for himself. He's a young player coming into a league that he's not played in. And I think yeah, he was showing a bit of his inexperience at the beginning, trying to rough up to centre backs. I think too much and get into
Yeah.
like trying to play too much into that side of it. And I think now his overall game has improved in terms of the way he does hold up the ball and bring players into play. He can turn off, he can spin, he can dribble.
Mm.
Really dangerous in transition, and he's showing his finishing as well, which is obviously the main thing about your striker. You want to put the ball in the back of the net, and yeah, second goal was at first when I first watched it, I was like, I thought to be honest, I thought Garnacho scored it when because the camera even pans in when
Mm.
when it went in, but on the replay,
Mm.
bro, that was 100% intentional. The way he
It's
flicked his
crazy.
chest, I was like, yeah, that's a Inzaghi like finish there. That's a strike. You know what I mean? But yeah, 2-0 up early in the game, and it seemed like we were going to be plain sailing. And then Luton come back, they score. And Nana, I
Man.
think, for that goal, did
Yeah.
not cover himself in, did not cover
Yeah.
himself in at all. I don't know. I feel like you have to be more dominant as a goalkeeper there. If you're gonna come out and make that decision to come out, you've got to make sure you're getting the ball before the man, or at least you're blocking the shot. But from that point on, when Luton scored, it was kind of the story of even the story of our games throughout this 4 game run of wins in the league. It's been like we go ahead and then the game just becomes a frantic end to end like constant like there's no like control in the game at all. And I think like, bro, Luton away is not an easy place to go. Like, I think what Liverpool dropped points there. I don't think you guys dropped points there, but they gave you a game
Bro,
like,
we should have, man. Got lucky.
yeah,
Should have.
they gave you a game. Arsenal got a late winner as well.
Mm.
But in all of those games, like Liverpool, Arsenal, City, um, when they came to Kenilworth Road, they still dominated the ball. They still dominated possession. Luton had 57% possession of the ball against us, bro. Like
It's crazy.
that's not good enough. We need to be controlling these games, and I think to be honest, you have to look at the midfield. Casemiro, I've said it before on this pod, to be fair, but that brother he's finished, man. Like even the timing of his tackles now is completely gone. That was one thing that he was all like the defensive side of it was one thing that like last season I was saying Casemiro is a good signing because not for the fee, but just because of the defensive midfield, that's the position that we need. And off the ball, like he's gonna bring solidity in defense, and that's what he did last season. To be fair, after the first few games, he was a bit. He took a while to warm up to it, but during our run, when I think from December to like March, when we beat Barcelona, beat you guys, won the Carabao Cup, Casemiro was a like a staple in the team. Like he was so important to us then. But this season, bro, even the defensive side is just gone. And he never really had the capability on the ball in terms of composure, receiving, progressing play. And now the defensive side of it is gone as well. And it's just like even his defensive ability allowed us to control games because we'd stop teams on the transition and we'd be able to kind of then counterattack them. But like that's gone now. He's picking up bookings like every game. Think yeah. And then Bruno on the other end, I think in this run of games has kind of masked like his performances. The fact that we've been winning, people haven't really been talking about it, but he's not been good in these games, man. Like these are games when from your captain, from your number 10, you need someone who's going to be able to just put their foot on the ball and say, do you know what I mean? Can't like we're 2-0 up here. Like let's knock the ball around sideways a bit. Let's maintain possession, build up properly in the start like a proper like organized attack. But at every moment he just wants to go forward, and that is how Bruno is, to be fair, and we've known that as Man United fans. But I don't know, man. When it's to the detriment of the team, like it just makes our games frantic. Um, it's frustrating to see, and it's a weird one because at the same time, it's like this is clearly what Ten Hag wants in a way. Like he wants us to be this transitional team. He wants us to go forward as quickly as possible. But when it makes the games like this, it's just not. You never feel like confident and safe, I would say. Well, for that first half, I think in the second half we were better defensively. I think Casemiro came off at half time for McTominay. And then Luke Shaw came off due to injury. But we were more solid defensively as a unit, and then we had loads of chances on the counter attack to score. But Nacho should have scored. Rashford had a couple of chances. I think Colin had another chance um for the hat trick. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, obviously happy with the 3 points, of course, but like the control in these games needs to come, and it needs to come soon if we want to, like, if we seriously want to mount a top four charge and get back into the Champions League this season or for next season. Because yeah, obviously 4 wins on the bounce is nice, but okay, other than Villa, you would have like those are points that we would have expected us to pick up. Do you know what I mean? So. Yeah, but did you watch the game? What did you make on it? What were your thoughts on
Fella, I was hate watching, man, bro. I needed Liam
it?
to give me something, but fortunately it wasn't to be. Nah, but I can't lie. I feel like this game to me kind of I don't know. I wouldn't say it's like a big revelation, but it's like kind of indicating where like the next steps or like the progression for this United team is. Because I thought Rashford played quite well, and I
Yeah,
think in the last few games he's actually improved quite a bit, like his performances. And I thought, uh, I wouldn't say I don't know if I'd say Garnacho played well, but I still feel like do you know what I mean? Like I feel like he's someone that could be like a serious sort of member of the team. Do you know what I mean? Like he's not someone
yeah,
who's
definitely.
who's getting like shipped out or something or sold. And to me, obviously Hoyland, I've been a fan of Hoyland for like since summer. So it's like to me, it feels like that sort of front three. Maybe you sign like an Elise or a Neto or a right winger over Garnacho, and that's your new front
Yeah,
three. But then Kobe Miney, as usual, looking composed. But then you
staple. Yeah,
have Bruno and Casemiro, and it's just like everything they're doing is just it just feels wrong. Like to me, it feels like you're kind of seeing like these guys are the problem in a sense. Not obviously they're not the like sole problem of like United, but it's like it feels like everything around them is going good. It's just these two that are kind of like they feel out of place, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
probably the next sort of progression. I can't remember who started at the back for you. Was it Maguire and
it was Varane and
Varane and
I
I think it
believe
was
I believe it
Maguire.
was Maguire. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and then
then
Lindelof
Dallo
came
right
on.
back had another good performance. Dallo, he's
Yeah,
been steady
solid,
this season,
solid.
and then Shaw came off at halftime with
Yeah,
injury. He started.
So I think that's kind of like obviously Shaw injury prone, but Shaw's still like the best left back in the world in my opinion. And then Dallow's been really good this season. Maguire, you probably will end up signing like a centre back that will maybe
Yeah,
take his space,
definitely.
maybe not. And then Lissandro would be the other centre back. It feels like the whole team is sort of like coming into shape, but it's just like I don't know. It feels like Bruno and Casemiro are kind of like out of place, which is crazy because one is your captain and one's
Yeah.
like one of your biggest signings in like recent years. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
so I don't know. It's kind of mad to say, but apart from that, I don't know. The main sort of question, the main sort of question that I want to ask is that I've seen H on Twitter, the United fan, is a good analyst. I've seen him say like he sort of brought up the passing maps of Onana, Casemiro, Bruno, and it was sort of like all of their passes were like long sort of diagonals. And what he sort of like hinted at was that it might be by instruction. What do you think of that? Do you think is Ten Hag kind of saying to them like, you know, go long or whatever, or do you think it's more like I don't know, just the players are just doing it themselves, or he's not directly telling them to calm it down. Do you know what I mean? What would you say? Would
No,
you say it's in it?
I think, I think it's definitely by instruction. It was the only last week he was kind of talking about how we went forward at every opportunity, like regardless of the like even after being 1-0 up, like we kept going forward, we kept attacking. And I
Mm,
think that's how he wants us to play that direct style. I think I do think because he wants us to be a transitional team, but you can be a transitional team with control. Like you would say Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool in the beginning were a highly transitional team, but they still did control games to an extent. Like they were compact and solid defensively. And that's something that we're not right now. And I think we're trying to get to that point. And I think, yeah, of course, that's why we're playing so forward. But I don't know, it's a weird one because I don't think we need to be playing. We don't like it's not every time the ball has to go forward. Do you know what I mean? Like I
yeah,
think you need to find that balance. And I don't know if that's down to Ten Hag's instruction or if it's down to the players, Casemiro and Bruno, because obviously with their tendencies already to kind of be a bit more risky in possession, I'll say. Um, like that with the instruction will amplify it. Whereas someone like Kobe will be receiving more or less the same instructions in terms of with the ball, or maybe he's being told to be the one to calm it down. To be fair, but
mm,
he will be encouraged to play progressively, and the way he does it, the way he goes about it is in a more controlled manner. Like it's not every time; it's when the pass is there and he knows he can make it. He goes
mm,
for it and it's secure. So I don't know.
yeah,
I think it's definitely by instruction. From Ten Hag. But yeah, I do agree with your point about the kind of evolution of the team. You can kind of see um, the points that we do need to address going forward. And it's a weird one because I think like Casemiro will definitely be addressed in the summer. Like I think we should definitely sign um, a defensive midfielder for sure to be his replacement, especially with all the talk of him leaving and stuff early in the season. But Bruno's the one where it's like he's probably gonna stay unless there's a really big offer from Saudi or something and we accept it. And even if that's the case, I don't think he'd want to go there. Like I think
yeah,
it'd have to be a big offer from like another big European team that would
yeah,
tempt him to go. And yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see how obviously how it works out going forward with Ineos and stuff. So Jim's now officially in. Um, we're trying to get like Dan Ashworth and stuff to be our director of football. So it's going to be interesting to see the direction they take the team in. But yeah, no, I think definitely it's by instruction at the moment. But yeah, so moving on to Arsenal, um, obviously another big win for them, 5-0 over Burnley. Saka and Odegaard again showing out, warming up to be honest for the running. It's looking a bit scary over there. I'm not gonna lie. These big score lines after a few weeks ago we were talking about how they couldn't score. It seems
mm,
like they're finally converting the chances. I think with Arsenal, it's a weird one because like even when they were struggling to score, like against think back to the game against West Ham at the end of last year.
Mm.
where they lost. Yeah, they lost at Emirates. Like even in that game, bro, they had so many chances to score. Like they could have easily beat West Ham if they like
Yeah.
Jesus missed a bunch of chances that game. I think Saka missed some in that game as well. Um, but now it seems to be seems to be clicking for them. Saka and Ødegaard, as I said, showing up. Trossard as well started picking up as well. Um, Havertz even coming and riding some goals, and as well as some decent play as well all round. He seems to be a bit more involved in that. So yeah, what do you think of Arsenal in terms of going forward? Have they solved this problem with the goal scoring?
I don't know. I don't know if they have because trying to remember. I didn't watch the Arsenal Burnley game, so I can't remember who scored. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like to me. It just feels like they're playing. I guess the same and still just converting their chances. Like the whole thing before of them not being able to score is just like the actual moments they weren't converting the chances. Like I don't think it was anything deeper than that. And it's something that will get like rectified if they sign like a striker who's more of a goal scorer. Do you know what I mean? Than like a
Yeah,
Jesus, for example. So I don't know. To me, it's not really that big of a thing. And they've also been really good defensively recently as well. I've seen
yeah.
I
I
think
think they've been good defensively the whole season, to be honest.
yeah, their out of possession game is so much better than ours, man. It's bro, it gets me mad, bro. It gets me so mad. Like it's so much better. It's ridiculous. Like teams can't play through them. Like they struggle so much. And then with us, you just see Rodri panting, running back by himself, and no one helped. Oh, it just gets me mad. But fair play to Arteta, man. He's coaching a proper team over there right now, man. I can't lie. They're getting somewhere. But then it just comes down to I don't know. Now it's coming down to I guess I wouldn't say it's the same as last season because last season I wouldn't really put it down to one individual thing, but it feels like the mentality there isn't there yet, if that makes sense. Like I don't know.
You
It
don't
kind
think
of
so?
feels
Even with these results, I think what 5 goals and what was it, six
nah,
against West Ham?
but
Like
when
that's obviously it's
when
not the running yet, but they're warming up.
mm,
They're cooking something.
nah, I think they are. But then when you look at the Champions League performance against Sporting, I don't know,
Mm,
man. See that to me,
mm.
that's I think the next game against Sporting, I'm not Sporting, sorry, Porto, sorry. Against Porto at home, I think that's gonna be the big test. Because we're gonna see then when they're 1-0 down on aggregate, we're gonna see how players react in that situation at home and how they play. Last season, I wouldn't say it was really a mentality thing. I just think they kind of just crumbled at the last hurdle. But this season is really going to be a mentality thing because I think in that Porto game specifically, um, they didn't play well. Porto they had most of the ball, but Porto definitely outplayed them in that game. And I don't know, it always felt like Porto had the better chances in that game, and they didn't. I'm pretty sure Arsenal didn't even have a shot on target. Like Trossard was basically not involved in the game. Havertz didn't really do anything either. And I don't know. It felt like in the biggest moments. For example, I actually missed the start, but I turned on my TV and Declan Rice had a red card in like a minute. I mean, not a red card, sorry, a yellow card in like a minute. So he
Yeah,
was on a booking for like the whole game. And then at the end of the game, I don't know. I wouldn't say Declan Rice is someone who's not made for big occasions because I think he actually is. Obviously, he was a captain at West Ham and he's been like in these big games before and he's quite experienced. But I don't know. It felt like um at the end, I think I can't remember if it's Gabriel that loses the ball or something, but Rice loses the ball. No, Rice puts in like a tackle or something and wins the ball, but like he gets it's caught under his feet and loses it again. And then Arsenal get the ball back. Martinelli has the ball, and this is literally like the last minute of the game,
oh, and you
and he
can
tries
play
to
the pass.
switch it. He tries to switch it all the way across the field to Saka, and he gets cut out. They go back the other way, and then now it's Rice, and obviously Rice is on the yellow. So if Rice puts in a tackle here, and Porto at home as well. So if Rice puts in a tackle here and it goes left, he's missing the next game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So he can't really get too close because literally any like trip he'll get second yellow for that, and then they score. They just wrap it from outside the box and they score. So I don't know, that kind of sequence kind of, it feels like, I don't know. I don't want to say like that means like weak mentally, but it feels like that's the type of like lack of experience, I'd say, that we used to have. And I feel like now, for example, in the Champions League final, we saw a lot of it. Like in that Champions League final, we did not play well, but there was like a lot of moments where we'd be going forward and then it'd be like the game would be stretched. And instead of like trying like high risk things, like Bernardo Silva or like Gundogan would just jog with the ball, just keep jogging, and then like turn around and wait for the whole team to get up the pitch. You kind of just slow things down and like get a bit of a control in the game when it's like in a sort of like tetchy situation. And I think that's something that they need to sort of develop next, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the Arsenal Porto game, if you caught it?
I didn't. I didn't actually manage to. I didn't actually manage to catch the game. I was watching the Barca Napoli
Okay.
one, but
Okay.
on the on the Arsenal Porto one, obviously, I want to talk about a certain man on the left wing because I obviously was watching the Barca Napoli game, but I was scrolling on my timeline and all I was seeing was Martinelli slander. I was hearing he was kicking the ball into the fullback to win corners.
Yeah,
Can you
he
confirm?
wasn't good. He wasn't good.
What what's happened? What's happened with Martinelli this season? Because I mean, the numbers have fallen off a cliff. I think it's 5 goals in the league this
Uh,
season. He hit 15 last season, and I think even what two of those goals, I remember they came like
in the last
in
minute,
stoppage time
yeah.
against Palace, like 90
Yeah.
plus 4 and 90 plus 5. So what do you think is going on with Martinelli this season? I don't know. I think he's obviously being hampered by the slight change in dynamics in attack with the system obviously with Havertz coming in.
Mm.
But even with that, like you look on the right wing and Saka's having to deal with the same thing and he's still managing to put down numbers. Like it seems like Martinelli's overall play has just not been good enough this season. What do you think it is?
To me, it's kind of the same thing as like Haaland. Like I think Martinelli's genuinely in bad form this season, but then it's harder to get back into good form when you're playing or you're not being used in the way that's kind of like complements you best, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like he's basically playing on the touchline a lot of the time, and it's like that's not his game. Like you don't want Martinelli out all the way there. Like you want him more like an inside forward, like coming inside. He's their best finisher. Do you know what I mean? Like you want him
yeah,
getting shots off at goal and stuff. And I don't know if it feels like like players will hit bad form, like it happens to everyone. But like when you're in bad form, and then on top of that, you can't really like get a goal for your confidence, or you can't really get like you're not being sort of platformed to play better. Like it's like I don't know, it's tough. I think that's just been the story of the season for him. Like he's been struggling himself, but also on top of that, like he's not being used correctly. So it's then it's making it harder for him to get out of that slump. So I don't know. It looks like they're sticking with the system right now. Doesn't seem like anything's going to change. Um, I think Havertz. I don't remember. I don't think Havertz got subbed off. I think it was. I think Trossard got subbed off, and I think Havertz went up front. I'm pretty sure. And I think at half time, ooh, who was it? I don't think the Trossard sub was at half time. I can't remember if it was or not, but I do know at one point Jorginho did come on, and you could tell Arteta was trying to maybe get that control back with that Jorginho and Rice pairing, but it didn't really seem to work. So yeah, fair play to Porto and Martinelli. I don't know if this sort of like bad form continues, and Saka's a bit different because Saka's still been sort of getting the goals and assists. Do you know what I mean? He's still
yeah.
been producing in that aspect. But if he's also not being played in his best position as well, it's like I don't know, man. It depends. It really depends on if they can click at the same time or not. Whether they'll be serious in the title race because they've got some big games coming soon. I'm pretty sure they've got us at the Etihad, and then I think they've got you guys like second to last game of the season. So
Yeah,
you guys can do something there for us. And then I think they
you
might
do
have
something for
Liverpool.
us.
Oh man, yeah. What did you think of the Napoli Barca game though? I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, no, the Napoli Barca game was interesting. I think when it got drawn, I was kind of excited for it, but I think I was looking at it like from a lens of last season. Because
Mm,
lot
yeah,
like if you look at it, this is the reigning champions of Spain and the reigning champions of Italy. But watching the game, you could just kind of see how both sides had fallen from the heights that they were at last season.
mm,
Like Napoli just didn't look that smooth build up, that liquid football that was we were seeing clips of all over the timeline last season. They were just getting those things wrong. Like it was so many unforced areas and build up, like giving the ball away in stupid positions and giving Barcelona the opportunity to just attack them and like get free chances on goal. I think Merritt, the goalkeeper, was really good, kept them in the game. Um, but yeah, they just kind of their 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 build up had just completely gone, and obviously they're not with the same manager from last season. I think
yeah,
they sacked their manager from this season as well. So I don't know. And then even like when they were trying to attack, like Osimhen was just completely isolated up front. It was like I was watching him from Nigeria again. Like he was just fighting for himself, bending for scraps, like brilliant, like trying to beef the whole back line. There was no
yeah,
help from there. Um, and I think Barca, to be honest, it's just the same criticisms I've had of them um for a while now, to be honest. Like I think they lack like directness in attack, and I think it's because of the way that they play with Xavi. Obviously, he does like it's a 4-3-3 on paper, but Pedri starts left wing, he comes inside. Cancelo's like the left back, but he's really a left winger, like he's wide, and then your Miles on the right wing. I just don't think like Cancelo is obviously a good player, but he's not a winger. Like he's not gonna provide that explosive burst past a man. Like you can't like it's not like you're gonna switch the ball to him. He's one on one. He's gonna burst past a man and put the ball into the box for Lera quickly. Like that's not. He's a fullback. And Yamal, I do rate him. I think he's a good player, but he's not even the most explosive. Like he's more of a
yeah.
technical, like small spaces, tight areas, like combining with players. He's not that type of winger that you'd want one on one on a touchline to like to do that. And I don't know. I just think Barcelona's attack was a bit. It was a bit stale. Like a lot of their shots even were from outside the box. Even with Napoli like falling over themselves and giving the ball away in dangerous areas, a lot of their like best chances were shots from outside the box. Um, I think yeah, Lewa popped up with a goal in the Champions League knockout stages. I know it was a rare sight, some might say, but yeah, good finish from
Yeah,
him. Nice little assist from Pedri. Very good
yeah,
finish. And then I think, yeah, Barcelona were on top pretty much most of the game until that point. And then after that, Napoli kind of came back with some the home fans kind of got onto them a bit after they went 1-0 down. And I think yeah, they rallied their troops. Osimhen did well with his goal.
yeah.
Shifted, I think it was
Great goal.
Inigo Martinez shifted
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Heard it.
Great goal.
That's my striker, man, my number nine. They were talking all sorts of rubbish on his name after AFCON, but
They're talking
that's to
crazy.
remind you who he is. Do you know what I mean? So
I, I can't lie that I've seen some criticism of Osimhen. What do you think about his like in terms of mentally? What do you think of like his movement and him? Because I've seen that he's offside quite a lot. What do you think of that
yeah,
aspect of his game?
I think he definitely like his timing, in terms of yeah, timing his runs. I think sometimes it's well, yeah. I think it's sometimes it can be poor. Like even I remember there was one chance against Barca the other day where he's like he can see the whole line. Like he's at the back post, he can see the whole line, and he's just still clearly offside, like calling for the ball. I'm like you, as a striker in that situation, you should never be offside, and especially
Mm,
someone like him where he's gonna have the pace on most defenders. He's gonna have the leap on most, if not all defenders. Like he doesn't need to go early. I think he just needs that little bit of calm, like temperament to check, make sure he's on, and then go from there. And like even sometimes when he's running behind as well, he can go a bit early. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, that's definitely something that he needs to improve on. But I think in terms of like the rest of his game, like his movement off the ball is incredible. His hold up play, the way he like brings other players into the game. The way he can create chances out of nothing. I think he's probably probably the best striker in the world at creating chances out of nothing, like complete nothing, just getting the ball or passing it off a defender or something and working some sort of opportunity for him to have a shot. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, no, I think it's a fair criticism, but yeah, and it's definitely something he needs to work on. But yeah, no, I think either way, man, I think he's elite for me right now. So,
Fair enough.
but yeah, that's all we have for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next week, we're out.